The St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre happens in August of 1572, and it's just following the wedding of Catherine's youngest daughter, Marguerite de Valois, to Henry of Bourbon, a young man, but who is the chief of the Protestants at the time. And the reason why this marriage is arranged is, again, to try to bring the two sides together and to create some sort of lasting peace. That's one theory. There are other theories about whether or not why this marriage was brought together, but that is the theory that we're going to go with today. Just days after the wedding, one of the chiefs of the Protestants, a man who was known as the Admiral Coligny, is mortally injured in what appeared to be an assassination attempt. And then just days after that, the third Duke of Guise and his cronies burst into the chambers where the Admiral Coligny is recovering, and they brutally murder him and throw him out of the window, decapitate him, and drag him through the streets of Paris. Something about this triggers a kind of mob reaction in Paris. Now, what you have to understand is that at the time, Paris is fervently Catholic, and Parisians were known to be just very opinionated and very hot-headed. And tensions had been running high because of this wedding for weeks. It was also very hot, and Paris was very crowded because of the wedding. So all of this is just sort of creating this fever pitch in the city. So after this assassination happens, something was triggered. The tocsin in the city, in one of the churches, starts to ring, and this massacre starts to unfold. Catholics kill Protestants. They also kill all sorts of people in this massacre, but they are specifically targeting Protestants in the streets, in their homes, at night while they're sleeping, while they're, any place where they'd go to try to, find safety. Catholics find them and they brutally slaughter them. This goes on for several days, and in the end, thousands and thousands of Protestants are murdered. The numbers are a little bit unclear. Scholars think that probably upwards of 3,000 Protestants were killed in Paris alone. And then, one of the really horrendous things is that this news of this massacre starts to spread, and then similar massacres start to occur all over France. So, in the end, we don't know for sure exactly what the death toll is, but some people speculate that it is in the tens of thousands. So the real question is, did Catherine know what was going to happen? She is consistently blamed for the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre in a very sort of neat and pat way. If you read textbooks that talk about the 16th century, they will often put in the context, just because it's easier to say, that Catherine de Medici orchestrated the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre, or that she ordered it. And that is how this legend has, continued to, has come down to us all the way through to today. And I think on some level, we're never going to be able to undo it. Some people think that that is just, in some ways, just libel, that she had no knowledge of this whatsoever. And, I understand that point of view, because Catherine had spent an entire lifetime, a career, trying to make peace between Catholics and Protestants. So to some degree, it just seems like a complete about-face that she would turn around and order the brutal massacre of Protestants to eliminate them entirely. Other scholars think that maybe what happened was that there had been an order to eliminate the leadership of the Protestants, maybe a dozen noblemen, and that what happened is it just got out of control. And then there's a third theory. The third theory is that the real target was this Admiral Coligny, and that, again, once he was murdered, the fever pitch of the Parisians, of the Catholic Parisians, just took over, and suddenly you had mob rule and no one could get control of it. To some degree, I really think that the real answer is probably somewhere between the idea that the Protestant leadership was targeted or that only Coligny was targeted. Catherine, as one scholar has said, was no saint. She was not above political assassination. And if she really felt that, these noblemen or that one nobleman, Coligny, was somehow in the way, maybe she would have decided to eliminate them. But I do think that what really happened is the mob took over. And then, it escalated so quickly and so horrendously that the crown just had no power to really restore order.